Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Payoff Pitch 524 edition. We're on a little early tonight. Got some things we gotta take care of a little later, but get you guys situated for tomorrow's slate. First, though, John Lester, Irvin Santana. Talked about them being two of our favorite pitchers, and the weather was a concern. The rain actually was coming down all game in Baltimore, yet Irvin Santana pitched a complete game shutout.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself, man. I had that in my lineup, and the last second saw the radar and didn't want to chance it, so didn't have any Santana today, but it's all good. I think we're ready for tomorrow. I know myself on these Tuesday, Friday slates that have 15 games, I haven't really been playing well, so I've been playing light, but 10-game main tomorrow. But yeah, welcome to Payoff Pitch. We're about to break down all 15 games for tomorrow, both early, main, all the in-between. And thanks for tuning in.
Yo, what about Chris Herman, though? Hit a home run already.
Yeah, well, this game is going to have it probably 6 combined home runs when it's over, I bet.
Charlie Blackmon went out, hit 2 home runs today. Conforto hit 2 home runs. Who else went off?
Encarnacion had double dong.
Rendon had 57 points. Someone else hit 2 solo home runs. I'm trying to think of, man.
Those are the 4 guys that had 2 homers. Rendon, Conforto, Blackmon, and Encarnacion.
Yeah, crazy. Jordan Montgomery had a nice game.
Yep, and then they took him out prematurely, and Yanks ended up losing. So sometimes I guess they put a little bit too much trust in that bullpen, but you're going to have nights like this. So
Dewey had Conforto and Blackmon. No way he's not cashing that then.
Yeah, good looks. 2 leadoff guys, too. We always talk about that.
Biagini was pitching well, man, and then he fell apart in the 5th inning, so maybe he just doesn't have that stamina yet. He got singled to death, too, for what it's worth, so it's not like he was giving up big hits, just a ton of singles back-to-back.
Yeah, again, I don't know. I kind of want to wait to see. I mean, if they are going to stretch him out as a starter, I kind of want to wait to see, I mean, that's the concern you have with the relievers. They turn into starters. What are they going to do second, third time through the order? How are they going to pitch after they get past 60, 70 pitches? So he'll get there, I imagine, but I kind of want to wait,
No, that's fair. Absolutely. Rays didn't do anything.
So had 3 hits the whole game.
Yeah, it's pretty much what they do. They're going to be like this all year. They're always going to be a GPP play. I don't ever recommend using them in cash. They're going to be home run or strikeout. And so if you play Shoemaker, you're looking good. If you play the Rays, not so good.
Yeah, something else I'm looking more and more at. I think on 15-game slates like this, it might be more of a benefit to try and pick and choose instead of stacking offenses.
Yeah, so I noticed that. I was looking at all the winners in my contests. I played 7 lines. Every single one had no more than 2 two-man stacks. Everything was 4 of the 7 lines had all one-mans, all one-offs.
Yeah, and I think that's more of a GPP strategy. I think if you're playing cash, you kind of do have to stack a little bit. But if you want to take down a GPP on a 15-game slate, I think you kind of have to do that because all of your guys have to hit homers.
Yeah, it was crazy. So
makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'll start testing it out. I already know. I mean, it's weird because it's so slate dependent. 2 nights ago, not tonight, but last night. The winners of the contest I was in had 2 4-man stacks. So
yeah, again, I think it has to do with these 15-game slates. If you want to take down a GPP, you really need a home run in every spot. Whereas last night, it was only a 9-game slate, and you stacked Minnesota, you did really well. So yeah, definitely is slate dependent based on how many games, I think.
I think that's the volatility of the sport. All right, so we got, a 5-game early slate?
4-game on DraftKings. They do not include the 6-10 game in Cleveland.
Game. Yeah, let's see if FanDuel does. It's so weird.
That is included in an afternoon slate. I think it's a 2-man or a 3. But
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not included in the early slate.
it is on FanDuel. So, why is Cleveland playing so many 6 o'clock games this year? This is like the fifth one they've had.
I don't know, man. Maybe trying to capitalize on some TV time or something. I don't know. Being the only game on.
That's weird. All right. Well, Jose Barrios, is on the hill again tomorrow. Impressive start last time. Last year, when he was called up, I mean, he's always been a highly touted prospect, but last year, he had a rough going. Didn't exactly live up to the expectations. Started this year in the minors. Actually got sent back down last year. Finished the year in the minors, I believe. Started this year in them. Got called up and went 8 innings last time against the Cleveland Indians, I believe.
Yeah, almost 8. 7 2/3 against
Yeah.
Colorado.
No, it was Cleveland, wasn't it? It wasn't Colorado.
His first start was against Cleveland. His last start was against Colorado.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'm thinking of the Cleveland game. Anyways, definitely a good young pitcher. Can we use him tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, you talked about last year. He was only 21 years old. He's 22. He's probably my favorite pitcher on this early slate against Baltimore. He's cheap enough. He's too cheap, in my opinion.
Yeah. A lot of chaos.
And you look at his first 2 starts this year. His last time out, he struck out 11 Rockies in 7 2/3. Only allowed 2 hits. He's actually only allowed 4 hits in almost 15 innings pitched so far against Cleveland and Colorado. So, not bad performances, not against pretty good teams. So I don't know. I think against Baltimore, this is the pitcher I want to play tomorrow.
Same. Clearly, I mean, you can almost attribute this team to the Rays. I think they're gonna strike out or they're gonna take you yard. And if Barrios is on and he can get his strikeout stuff going, man, this could be a very nice payoff for his price.
Yeah, definitely. I think if this was like if he was on the main slate, I think he'd be more of a GPP play, but he would definitely stand out for that price. But on this 4-game slate, he's my favorite guy, I think, for sure.
So I'm all on Barrios too. What about attacking Tillman, man? He's actually pitched really well this year since he's come back. Hasn't allowed a home run yet. He is in Baltimore, but he's got an under 30% fly ball rate, not allowing a lot of hard contact. 2% barrels per batted ball event. 86.7 average exit velocity. So, not a lot of that. The StatCast is showing not a lot of hard contact against him either.
Yeah, the StatCast numbers do look nice on this. He's only 3 starts in. They're letting him pitch. His pitch count has been up. He just hasn't really gone deep into games as of yet. So the numbers are there, but I think I'd rather go the other side of this. Minnesota's not a terrible matchup. I think he could be an okay play.
Yeah, but I find myself not really stacking this game so far.
Yeah, I agree.
Initial
thoughts. Look at today. It was a 2-0 game. Again, the rain was coming down big time, but still, both these teams have the potential to really kind of get flustered, I guess. So,
question for you. I know this isn't a common strategy because we don't typically like playing the all-day slates. Dewey just made a point. He wishes he could pair Barrios with Sale. Would you play an all-day slate just to do that?
Oh, man. It's tough. It would depend on what the weather looks like as a whole, I think. I think if I'm going to think about doing that, I want to at least check the weather in the morning and kind of get a full picture of all the games that could potentially even be close to having some postponed chances before I can make that call. And the night before, like we are right now, I don't think we can really make that call.
No, I agree. Toronto, Milwaukee. So not a very high implied run total so far either. 8.5, actually lower than the previous game. Stroman, elite ground ball, probably the best ground ball pitcher, one of the best in the league, I'd say. Even has a lower ground ball rate than Lance McCullers. He's going to need that in this park, that's for damn sure. And then you got Matt Garza on the other side, who is actually not pitching bad at all this year.
Yeah, he hasn't been. He's been somewhat surprising for Milwaukee. I've even heard rumors of maybe them trying to deal him for, kind of sell high on what he's done. So I still like Stroman, I think. We talk about ground ball pitcher with strikeout upside in a positive strikeout matchup with Milwaukee. I think that kind of leans as a GPP play on the slate for sure.
Yeah. I can get behind.
I think him and Berrios are my two favorite pitchers on the slate, on the early slate.
I kind of like that as well. If you're on DraftKings, a Stroman-Berrios combination. Would you stack against Garza? I mean, if we look at his career numbers, never been great. Clearly struggles versus lefties. That's his one downside. I mean, he hasn't allowed a home run to a righty at all this year. But versus lefties, clearly a different story. So, Kendrys Morales, Justin Smoke if he plays.
Yeah, and I'm really not thinking about playing him because of limited K. I mean, he only struck out 3 Padres.
And that's the Padres.
He only struck out 3 Padres. God. Yeah, you definitely can go. I think lefties. Smoke didn't play today. So, obviously, he's the guy I'm looking at as with the hot bat.
Yeah. Morales is a fair price, too, in this park. I love that on FanDuel, under 3K.
Wow. Yeah, that is cheap.
So, and then Devon Travis is still hot. I think you got to look there. He's got a 9-game hit streak as well. Hitting the ball really, really well.
Down with that. Yeah, I think Garza is someone you can definitely attack today. Maybe if you want to be contrarian, I imagine Stroman will get most of the ownership at pitcher on DraftKings at least. So if you want to be contrarian, I think you can try to find someone else on this Milwaukee team that do hit the ball pretty far when they make contact.
Miami, Oakland. Another 8.5 implied total game, or over/under, I guess you could say.
Right.
Edison Volquez also hasn't pitched awful. Has a little bit of K upside versus a team that does strike out a little bit. And then you have Sonny Gray, who I don't think we'll ever see the Sonny Gray of old, but maybe if he adapts his pitching style or changes it a little bit, maybe he can be serviceable. I don't think I play him, but I don't know if I want to attack him right now, especially with the Marlins lineup.
I don't know. I feel like this is a game that I like the most not the most, but this is a game that I like on this early slate to find some bats. I think you can attack both these pitchers comparatively to the 2 games we just talked about.
I would rather play Minnesota bats against Tillman than I would Miami bats against Gray. I just don't trust Miami's bats.
Yeah, it's a fair point, and it's not cheap either. The ones that you do trust in the middle of the order there, I mean, Justin Bour's same price as Giancarlo Stanton now, so for good reason he's been mashing lefties, but it is a pitcher's park, so I see what you're saying for sure.
I mean,
but Sonny Gray's been pretty bad.
Justin Bour versus righties?
Did I say versus lefties?
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, versus righties, yeah.
I was like, wait. Did I get something?
Justin Bour versus lefties, not really that great of a play. No. But yeah, versus righties, obviously he's been mashing, but it is a hitter's park, and he is the same price as Stanton now. So it's just that Sonny Gray's not really showed much this year, so that's the reason I'm thinking about it.
That's fair. I think I still like the Twins a little more. And then Chicago, Arizona. This is the game that I think I want to attack. Jose Quintana, high fly ball rate in this park, but there is some K upside. And then Randall Delgado making a spot start.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think...
Is it a spot start?
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I see this as a game stack, personally. If you're on DraftKings where you only get these 4 games, I think this might be my favorite game to stack.
I think... Yeah, I really don't think we'd be alone in that sentiment, though. I think you're going to be able to get any bat you want on DraftKings.
Yeah,
I really do.
You might see
so I think people are just going to immediately go to this Arizona side, and I definitely think if people are going to be all over the Arizona side, I might lean more White Sox bats and then pick my favorite two Arizona bats. I'd rather stack against Delgado than Quintana in this game.
Yeah. Dewey says he might consider pitching Quintana just because he thinks most people might fade him. I could definitely see that from a tournament perspective. Arizona's hot, and they're with the highest implied total on that slate for DraftKings.
Yeah, from a tournament perspective, I think you play Quintana and you stack against Stroman.
Would you play Quintana and Berrios?
Right, and then I would stack against Stroman as like a GPP play.
I gotcha, okay. Yeah, Thames, Shaw. Yeah, I can see that. It's not a bad strategy. Again, I still think you can get some Chicago bats in here as well. Lurie Garcia.
Yeah, definitely. I know. I really like the White Sox tomorrow.
Yeah. Go away. And then, so for those of us on FanDuel, Cleveland has, I believe, the highest implied. Yep, Cleveland has the highest implied total on the slate versus Luis Alberto Bonilla. If I said his name wrong or right, I'm sorry.
Seems about right. That's how I would have said it.
And then Trevor Bauer. So Trevor Bauer, enormous K upside, man.
Yeah, I believe this is his first game back after a brief stint on the DL, if I'm not mistaken.
He wasn't pitching bad before it either. The one thing that concerns me with Bauer is, so the strikeouts are there, right? But almost 40 or almost 50% of the balls hit against him are going 95 plus.
You look at the hard contact rate, it definitely is coming out to some home runs. If you look at it, he's got a home run per 9/2 this year, so
yep. Doesn't favor him in this
sketchy.
part either.
It's a little sketchy to me.
And wind is blowing out to left field, so talk about favoring some righty bats. Adam Duvall, Eugenio Suarez, staying hot right now.
Yeah, the Reds are hot, so I don't know that I would like to pitch Bauer, but I don't know how much I want to go against him. I think I try to find, again, the highest probability for some home runs in this lineup and maybe pick one or two.
See, I'm looking at Suarez right now at 2,900 on FanDuel. I think that's too cheap. Under that
at a position, you're probably going to have trouble finding people.
Yep, a sub 3K price. Yep. So I think that if you're on FanDuel and you're playing that early slate, if you're not going to play Sano or Machado, which I'm not going to play Machado against Berrios, maybe
Frazier, though.
Maybe Shaw, maybe Frazier. I don't know. I think Suarez might be my favorite play in this scenario.
Yeah, Frazier 3,300 I think is a worthy, I guess, one to consider with Suarez.
Yeah.
At that price point on FanDuel.
And then what about some Cleveland bats? They're obviously the highest implied total. So we talk about I love them from the left side of the plate. I think Lindor, Brantley, Kipnis, that top of the lineup is a good place to look. Lonnie Chisenhall is a good place. I mean, there's power all over this lineup.
Yeah, the addition of this game and this Cleveland lineup does kind of mix up this early slate a lot, man. It really does. Makes it a lot more interesting, I think, obviously, because the prices of these bats are a little bit more expensive. I'm still not buying in. I mean, I know E5 both had 2 home runs today.
He's been so
I'm really not buying into Santana and Encarnacion yet. They've just been not very good this year. I like Jose Ramirez, right? Especially on FanDuel with that price, 2,900. He's better from the left side.
All right, so let me ask you this then: almost the same exact pricing on both sides, Suarez or Ramirez.
That's a tough call.
I think Suarez.
I think Suarez has more of a home run swing, whereas Ramirez seemingly is more of a line drive hitter.
Yeah, agree. All right, so that's your early slate. Quick thoughts on that. I'll talk about it from a FanDuel perspective because obviously I can include this game. So Berrios, Stroman, and I'll say Quintana for the GPP play would be my 3 pitchers. From a stack standpoint, I do like some White Sox against Delgado. I do like some Cincinnati Reds, even though they have a lower implied total. I do like Suarez, Duvall, Cozart, some Votto, obviously you got to consider that. And then I'm going to say a Minnesota stack against Tillman.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'll just pick two guys I want to throw are Barrios and Stroman. Two guys that I want to attack are Volquez and Delgado.
Yeah, true. I mean, I forget about that. These lineups could change very much in the next 18 hours or so. All right, on to the main. Colorado, Philadelphia, Tyler Chatwood. Interesting play tomorrow.
Philly.
And Jeremy Hellickson.
Yeah.
These two pitchers are quite different. So, Hellickson, huge fly ball pitcher in a hitter park. Chatwood, great ground ball pitcher. And twice as much K upside as Hellickson, at least this year. But Hellickson is allowing a lot less, or he's averaging about 20 points lower against him, lower WOBA. So, going to be interesting. I, however, will gladly attack Hellickson. That 51% fly ball rate against lefties. I'm going to go, if Blackman's in the lineup, Blackman, Cargo. I'll still go with Mark Reynolds. I'll look at Tony Walters again as a punt catch. Alexi Amarista might play. Trevor Story's back. He might play. So I think this Colorado team is very stackable again if this is the lineup we see.
Yep, I agree. Hellickson has the top fly ball rate of any pitcher on this slate. Has a home run problem this year. His home run per fly ball ratio, home run per 9, also top 5 on this slate when you rank him against all the other pitchers. And then his barrel per batted ball, that's a top 5 on this slate as well. So those all speak to home run numbers. He has been somewhat limiting average in WOBA and hard contact, but when you put it in play in the air, it seems like it's going out often against this guy. So
this is very interesting to me. 171 average, 252 WOBA against lefties, 5% strikeouts, but a 51 and 1.1 home run.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know that that's sustainable numbers. Like, I feel like that might regress in a positive way for him, but still, he's having a home run problem here early on, and that's not good for a pitcher's confidence, especially with a team that's losing. Like you said, in a hitter's park. At least I thought it was a hitter's park, but I guess it's somewhat neutral. I could definitely look to find some home runs off this guy tomorrow.
Yeah, so Colorado for me. And then I like Tyler Chatwood right now. I do. I think he's a valuable play tomorrow. Enough K upside with a great ground ball rate versus a Phillies team that's not very good right now. So,
yeah, great ground ball rate, like you said. Top 5 in average exit velocity, 95+ percentage. Limits hard contact as well.
Yeah.
So, top 5 in that category. And if you couple that with Philadelphia versus righties are the bottom 5 team in hard contact as a team. So you put 2 and 2 together there. It seems like Chatwood could be a good play. I don't know the upside that he really possesses. Like, let's see, his top strikeout performance this year was 6 against the Dodgers.
That's enough for me.
So, but again, elite ground ball pitcher, and facing a team that's not very good at all. So I like Chatwood today at his price at 6,900 on DraftKings. I think he's one of the guys that stands out amongst the rest in a sense.
That's fair. On to Seattle and Washington. Washington exploded today. I think Sam Gaviglio, for those of you that have the sheets, he looks decent. However, I caution you, very limited sample size. He's going to face this Washington team, and the one area he seemingly, the numbers will show he struggles in is lefties. And we know the power lefties, Harper, Murphy. I still think you can look at some of the righties on the team. So I don't want to play Gaviglio tomorrow at all. And wind is blowing out.
Yeah, it's not really a DFS play. Gaviglio, he's a long reliever. That I think they brought him up from the minors even to make a spot, but this rotation is so it is in dire need of people that he has earned another start. in Washington against one of the best lineups in baseball.
And they're getting hot.
Yeah, I think you can definitely attack Gaviglio tomorrow. Roark has been pretty bad as well, man. He's regressed in a rough stretch, for sure. Down to 7,800 on DraftKings, so
so
a little bit of,
what's Chatwood's price on DraftKings?
68.
Yeah, see, I'd rather play Chatwood over Roark.
Yeah, save $1,000. But gave up 7 earned runs in his last start in 5 innings at Pittsburgh in what is a pitcher's park.
He was chalk that day too. I remember that.
And yeah, I mean, let's see. 3 of his last 4 starts, he's given up 4 earned runs or more. So it's just in a little bit of a rut right now, for sure.
I don't like him against the Seattle lineup, so I'm gonna fade that. Not even a consideration for me. However, I don't find myself really stacking Seattle on a 10-game slate. I think there's better spots, but I do like Washington tomorrow. I love Washington tomorrow.
Yeah, look what Joe Ross did to Seattle today. Goodness, man.
Yeah.
When did Joe Ross go out? No. Yeah, he currently is the 3rd highest pitcher. Just went out and pitched 8 innings, gave up 5 hits, struck out 6 against Seattle today. So, I read a stat today that Joe Ross in his first 4 starts has gotten more run support than anybody ever in baseball. It's like 60-some runs in his first 4 starts in the majors.
Wow.
So, good for Joe Ross. You know, making his life easy, being in the majors. You know, that doesn't happen much.
That's right. Kansas City, New York, man. I buy this implied total for New York tomorrow. Jason Hamill, low K rate. I mean, he's red across the board this year. High average against, high WOBA, low K rate, high hard contact, high fly ball rate. In New York, yeah, give me some of these New York bets tomorrow.
Yeah, Yankees are one of my favorite stacks on the slate. Jason Hamill, you mentioned. It's a guy you can attack. 2nd highest WOBA on the slate. What else here? 4th highest fly ball rate on the slate. 3rd highest average exit velocity on the slate. So, yeah, I think you can definitely attack Hamill. The Yankees, I think, beat him up last week too.
Yep.
So.
And what about Luis Severino on the other side, man? Pitching pretty well this year. High K rate, low fly ball rate, low hard contact. What's interesting to me, so his hard contact is 28%, yet his percentage of balls that are hit 95 plus against him are 40%.
Yeah, I mean, him and Pineda almost have identical numbers in that sense. You know, they really do have a home run problem. And again, I'll chalk it up to these guys really have pinpoint control. They don't walk guys. They strike out a bunch, and they get a lot of swing and miss rates outside the strike zone. Like, I think Pineda leads the league in swing and miss outside the strike zone. But they have mistake pitches, man. Yeah. K pitchers are going to do that. They're going to lose a grip. They're going to float one up, and major league hitters are going to hit it out. And so you see that a lot with Severino. A lot of home runs. Really, that's the only way to score against him. You know, maybe he lets a single here and there, and then you hit a home run, and that's how you get 3 runs on the board. K upside with Kansas City. They are middle of the pack, 14th versus righties in K percentage. So it's not really. It's kind of a wash matchup as when you look at strikeout pitcher. But yeah, I think Severino is in play. Obviously, Chris Sale is on the slate, but he comes in 2nd in price. So
that's what I was going to say.
Perhaps he's
with Chris Sale
the guy to pivot.
Yeah, with Chris Sale on the hill, I don't think Severino gets a lot of ownership at all. And with that said, Chris Sale is, in my opinion, this year's Clayton Kershaw. Like, you don't think twice about playing Chris Sale, whereas Kershaw, a little bit more hesitant. You know what I mean? The fact that we talk about pivoting off of Kershaw.
Yeah, Sale's on a different level right now. That start, like I mentioned, with Hamill in Kansas City, Sanchez and Carter both bombed him, and Sanchez hit a no-doubter in that game. He also had the day off today, so I think he's a good spot.
Yeah, so Yankee stack in effect tomorrow. San Diego, New York, Robert Zellman and Jared Cozart. Cozart is yet to allow a home run this year. Granted, it's a smaller sample size. Zellman has not pitched well this year. However, do not, in my opinion, be worried about Cozart. Conforto, Bruce are very much still in play. Let's see, probably the same lineup as today. Curtis Granderson, Wilmer Flores.
Yeah, Jared Cozart, guys. I mean,
he's not a good pitcher.
Is he? This will be his fourth start of the season. He hasn't made it to the sixth inning yet, so maybe he'll break that threshold this one. But I don't know. He's not a good pitcher, like you said. The Mets are very hot and cold. Definitely a tough team to rely upon and stack. Obviously, came through tonight. Maybe they'll see some ownership up against a poor pitcher because of this performance tonight. But they're just a tough team to rely upon, in my opinion. I always stick with the Conforto Bruce stack off the Mets. It's just tough, being that they're both outfielders and both high-priced outfielders in that sense. Again, they had Jose Reyes in the middle as two guys today.
As they probably will continue to do.
We'll see what happens. It could be TJ Rivera today. I know that they've been kind of splitting time, honestly. So,
I think a Mets two-man is that's going to be in play all year. They're expensive, but I mean, right. Conforto, Bruce, I think they're going to be in play all year.
Rene Rivera stays 2,500.
Yep. Did he get a hit again today?
I don't know. I didn't play him. I played that dude on Houston, Centeno.
Yeah.
Which worked out pretty well.
Josh is considering Zellman. I don't think he's crazy, seeing as it's the Padres.
No, he's not crazy. I definitely think Zellman's got upside, man. We've seen it. Like we saw it last year. He hasn't really pitched to, his potential this year. He's real cheap. He's only 6,200. He started the season at 7K. So,
dropping a little.
But then you look at it, man. He just really hasn't.
I think the matchup is there against the Padres. I mean, if they're not going to hit a home run, they're going to strike out. So.
Yeah, I thought they moved him to the bullpen. I was reading the other day.
They did, and then they brought him back.
Yeah, because that's smart, Yeah, I don't know how much I like that. I don't think anybody's going to be on Zellman. Maybe because of the matchup, people will be.
If you're going to play Sale, you need a cheap starting pitcher too.
Yeah, no. So maybe Zellman gets it. I think Chatwood is the guy I look at, though.
Okay. LA and Tampa. Ricky Nolasco, man, he's almost identical to Shoemaker in terms of.
Yeah, I know. Home run spots.
Yep. But he has K upside this year. He's been, pitching relatively. He's been striking out some bats. Do we go back to a Tampa stack?
I think again, this is going to be GPP on both sides. I think Nolasco has put up some big spots. He almost had 30 DraftKings points against Oakland this year, but he's also.
Gotten blown up.
In a good matchup against Oakland this year as well, has gotten blown up by them. Give him 2 home runs. Actually, he's good. He's had 2 home runs hit against him in every single start except for 3. So 5 out of 8, he's had 2 home runs hit against him.
Interesting.
So again, I think that's a solid case to be made that there'll be 2 home runs hit in this game, and we know that Tampa hits a lot of home runs, so. I think you can go back to Tampa today, especially after 3-hit performance.
Yep, I think people will be off them tomorrow, which will be nice. So I look at some Tampa bats tomorrow. I'm gonna ride that train. I don't think they're dead.
It's tough.
Now.
It is, man.
Yeah.
It's tough to look at your lineup and see zeros and then go back and do it again. I feel you.
But I think it's a play that I'm gonna do. So Dewey's case for Zellman is he thinks that Chatwood will be the chalky SP2 with Sale. So, because the Rockies have been killing the Phillies, so he's trying to be different on a...
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's interesting.
And then the Angels, they are a different team with Cameron Maybin at the top of the lineup right now.
2 straight games, right?
This is the 4th straight game he's led off. Started in that Mets series. They've kind of carried that little.
He's had a hit in every game.
Oh yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's interesting. I think it's. I mean, it's not broken, don't fix it. So I think. Maybe it's intriguing. I mean, Erasmo Ramirez, he's another guy that they brought out of the bullpen to try and take Blake Snell's spot. He's pitching great in the bullpen. He made some starts last year. Pitched pretty well against the Yanks in, I think, 5 innings, and then they kind of got to him in his last start.
Yeah.
I believe that was his last start. Let's look at it. Yeah, he pitched 5 innings. Gave up 2 earned runs on 65 pitches, and then they took him out. So, another guy that's yet to really pitch. That was his highest pitch count of the season. So, we haven't really seen what he can do with 80 pitches. So, I don't really want to play him, but I think you can kind of go after him a little bit. I don't mind trying to figure out where to go on LA, but it's tough to figure out, man.
Yeah, I don't think I stack LA. I mean, this 2-man is intriguing. It's expensive. Maben and Trout. I don't know if I trusted enough to do it. But it's intriguing. But right now I find myself fading the LA side and going right back to a potential Tampa stack.
I see that.
Texas and Boston. Boston high implied total already, 5.38.
Yeah, it's highest on the slate.
And their bats are really not too expensive. Mid to lower 300 or 3K range. Sale obviously is Sale. That's going to be mad expensive, almost a 40% K rate this year. Also boasts a high fly ball rate, so when he gets hit, has home run potential. Especially, oddly enough, he's given up more home runs to lefties with a lower fly ball rate. Really weird how that's working, but
yeah, it's just such a small number. Probably only like 2 guys.
Yeah. And then Martin Perez, who is a ground ball pitcher, but I'm not scared of him. Mookie Betts, Dustin Pedroia, Bogarts, I like that 1 through 3. Hanley Ramirez, I think, is in play. So
I don't know, man. He's a really big ground ball guy, so I don't really like to stack against him or ground ball guys in general. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really feel comfortable stacking against him. I think there's some other stacks I like better. Again,
what about Devin?
It isn't that cheap.
What about Devin Marrero?
Has he been playing consistently?
Yeah.
I guess maybe against the
2200.
The lefty.
Yeah, shortstop, 2200 tomorrow against the lefty. 27 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I don't mind a punt there, but again, it's not someone I'd like to stack against. Chris Sale, 8 straight games, double-digit strikeouts, positive K matchup. Texas is the 4th highest K percentage versus lefties this season.
They're ridiculous. This is like a matchup made in heaven for Chris Sale.
Yeah, so I really don't think this is someone I don't think this is a slate to get cute with Chris Sale.
Yeah, you literally minimize almost all the power on Texas by throwing out a lefty. And these bats are
increase the strikeout numbers because these lefty guys strike out a ton, man.
They're almost doing to Texas bats what they've been doing on Kershaw slates. Every single one of these bats is under 2,500.
Wow. Yeah, I see that now.
They're almost daring you to play some Texas bats.
Lucroy, what did he do today? Nothing, I don't think. But he has been playing well.
I think if you want to play against Sale, I look at 2 guys, and it's Ryan Rua and Mike Napoli. Those are the only 2 guys I would really look at.
Yeah, Mike Napoli, I think, is a guy. I agree.
So, but I'm with you. I just think play Sale. Don't look back.
Yeah, again, the lefties they have in this lineup strike out a ton, and that's where all their power comes from, too. So,
yep.
I mean, Napoli, I guess, is the one other guy that strikes out a ton and can hit it out from the right side. And, I mean, he's comfortable in Boston, man. He's comfortable mashing balls off that wall. That's like he made a bunch of money doing that. Truth.
Pittsburgh, Atlanta. So as long as this doesn't change again, we get Julio Teheran. So I think we can kind of echo what we said last night. Josh Bell, John Jaso in play. I still like David Freese. So a mini Pittsburgh stack. And, Matt Adams hit another home run today.
Yeah, man. Making that front office look like G's up there, just raining money. Hey, it's good to be a Braves fan right now. It's weird to say, but they got a bright little future ahead of them. So, congrats to those guys and their new ballpark, which is fun to watch.
It's gonna bring in some fans, that's for sure.
It's true that.
I don't think Julio
But
Teheran.
not in this game.
Julio Teheran is not a huge fan of the new ballpark.
No, he wants out, dude. I don't know. His numbers are similar to, I think, Hellickson in a sense. Not to the extent, but I don't expect this. I don't know. Do you buy into this home run problem for Teheran? Like, is he really going to give up 2 home runs a game from here on out? I mean, he's their quote-unquote ace.
Bro, Teheran sucks for his lefties. I think if there's any lefties in a lineup, then yeah, he can continue doing that.
Let's look. Games at home. His last game at home, he gave up 3 home runs. Game before that, gave up 2. Gave up 1. Game before that, gave up 2 the game before that. Yeah, so he's given up at least 1 home run in every game at home this year. So, who's going to hit it? I think
Josh Bell, John Jaso, David Freese.
Josh Bell is an interesting candidate to hit it. I agree. Obviously, the lefties, like you said. Jaso made me happy guy today. Got me. Both my punts did well with Jaso and Centeno. If only I had kept Santana in, I'd be all right. But yeah, I agree. I think there's definitely a bomb to be had on Pittsburgh. Just a matter of figuring out who.
Yeah.
Trevor Williams.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, same thing, man.
Bro, Matt Adams is still cheap. Do it again. Him and Matt Kemp, I like that too, man.
Yeah, I mean Trevor Williams. Let's see. I want to say he had a good start last time out. Obviously, this guy. I don't know that he's going to be a mainstay in this rotation. Nah, he didn't. He didn't make it to the 6. Oh well, yeah. I think you can go after him as well. It's obviously I'm not pitching anybody in this ballpark for a while until Big Tilt give me a reason otherwise, you know.
Agree completely. So yeah, Dewey's on Josh Bell as well. I'm with it. Well, you got to pick though, Bell or Adams. On DraftKings you don't. On FanDuel you do. I think I like Bell a little more. As hard as that is. Bro. SF in Chicago. Yeah. So for whatever reason, every single day the Chicago line is never out at the. There's never.
It's the weather thing, man. I told you Vegas got burned last week, and they're just like, nah, not again. They must have lost a shitload of money with that win game.
Where do we?
Yeah, this is the game, man. I think Matt Moore is the player I want to attack the most on this entire slate.
Look at his numbers versus lefties. 60% hard contact, almost a 12% barrel per batted ball event, 45.5% 95 exit velocity, 95 exit velocity on average. Just awful.
It's pretty bad.
Chris Bryant, Ben Zobrist. I like Javier Baez tomorrow too. Him and Addison. I think this is a whole team stack. Just keep press and submit on FanDuel until they let you play the all 8 batters.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm curious to have how much the 9 earned run game against the Dodgers, pretty much entire team, skews those numbers a little bit. But this is the guy I want to attack the most on this whole slate, I think.
Same.
With the Cubs, we'll see what happens with the weather. Obviously, Chicago always has some, crazy weather. Yeah. But look at all the numbers here, man. Number 1 on the slate, average exit velocity, number 1. All the StatCast numbers is number 1. 95 plus barrel.
Number 1 in bad, by the way.
Number 1 on this slate is in bad. Yes. Then you look at he's 3rd worst WOPA, 2nd highest hard contact, 5th highest fly ball rate. And he's up there in home run per 9 too. So definitely hemorrhaging fantasy points to opposing players. So all over this Cubs lineup. we'll see what happens when it comes out. Schwarber hit a bomb today that was pretty massive. So I want to attack Matt more tomorrow. And then on the other side, I kind of like Kyle Hendricks. I mentioned him last night thinking he was going to play.
Yeah, I like him again today.
Talk about a ground ball pitcher. He is got an elite ground ball rate, and then San Francisco versus righties has the highest ground ball percentage in the majors this season. So plays right into his game. And the fact that I'm all over Chicago bats, I think definitely going to be in line for a win. I mean, I wonder what the line will be when this comes out to see where Hendricks will go as far as ownership, but he's definitely one of my top pitchers today.
Same. Detroit and Houston, man. Daniel Norris, guy you can attack. High hard contact rate. And then Charlie Morton, on the other hand, high strikeout rate and low fly ball rate. So we talk about that elite combination. I like me some Charlie Morton tomorrow. The only concern I have is he does give up a little bit of hard contact versus a team that is best in the majors in hard contact.
Yeah, Charlie Morton's been a little hot and cold as far as the DFS play, just because he's had a couple double-digit strikeout games, but he's also really not had his stuff sometimes. I mean, he's still a young pitcher, so... Or I guess... I don't know how young he really is. I know he was with the Phillies for a while, but either way, he's had games that, even you rostered him, you weren't really happy. But GPP play, I think, he's up there in price. He's actually the same price as Kyle Hendricks on DraftKings. Mm-hmm. Or no, he's $100 more expensive. So I imagine Kyle Hendricks will get a lot more ownership than Charlie Morton tomorrow, and it could be with Morton's K upside, he could be the better GPP play for that reason. Daniel Norris is probably my second favorite person to attack tomorrow.
Yep.
So I'm all over Houston again. Gaddis and Craig got the day off. Both righties back in the middle of this order. I think two guys I'm looking at.
And finally, St. Louis and Los Angeles again. Rich Hill on the hill. And Mike Leake.
Yeah, Hill's back. This is an interesting game. This is the only late game. The only game after, I think the one before it starts at 8. This one starts at 10. So, lefty Rich Hill against St. Louis, I think, is in a pretty good spot. I don't hate it, really love it type of thing.
I'm not really on Rich Hill. Maybe for the late slate, I think I still like Morton a little more right now. That could change, but for me, if I'm being honest with you, it's just Sale for me.
Yeah, no, I think, I like to pick pitchers in like each different spot. Like, so today, like, I think I'm going obviously Sale in the high price guy, then Hendricks mid price, and then Chatwood low. But I feel like you have to have Sale tomorrow. I mean, again, he's in a good spot.
Yeah, I'm just all Sale. If you want to stack against Rich Hill, again, I think Gorko, Randall Grichuk, Dexter Fowler are guys I look at. Not my favorite spot to attack, though. And the same with Leak. I don't think I necessarily want to attack Leak right now.
Yeah, no, I don't want to play Leak or attack him. I kind of like Leak as a cash game play, just not against the Dodgers. He's been a pretty solid performer all season, just not in this matchup. For sure.
All right, so top 3 pitchers to play and top 3 to attack tomorrow on the main.
Yeah, I'll just reiterate. Sale high, Hendricks mid, Chatwood low. I think ownership pivots perhaps. I don't really think there's an ownership pivot to be had against Sale. I guess it'd have to be Severino, but I would imagine you'd probably just be better off going 2 mid-price guys on DraftKings as your pivot off Sale. Because you're not going to be able to play mid-range with Sale, so that's probably your way to pivot. I think Hendricks and Morton are interesting. I think, again, Morton is more the GPP play, and Hendricks is, probably a safer play. And then Chatwood, we mentioned Gazelman. I think that's interesting against San Diego. But yeah, that's where I'm looking.
So me, I'm on Sale. Obviously, Sale's going to be probably everywhere for me. I like Tyler Chatwood as well, and then I like Charlie Morton a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What about?
Yeah, and as far as pitchers to attack, for me, it's Moore, Norris, Nolasco, and Hamill. Those are my 4 pitchers that I'm trying to attack tomorrow.
Yep, I'm all on attacking Matt Moore with Chicago. I'm actually on a Washington. No, are they? Wait, are they early? They're early, aren't they?
No, they're the main slate with Gaviglio.
Yeah, so I'm on a little Washington stack, especially because if Gaviglio gets pulled early, that bullpen's awful.
It is.
So I'm on a little bit of.
They're struggling.
Yep, I can go there.
To find people that can throw the ball.
And then I'm going right back to Tampa Bay.
Yep, target Nolasco.
So.
Yep, I agree, man. I think we're kind of on the same page a little bit. It should be interesting to see how the ownership plays out over the course of the day, as well as the weather. Again, once I thought I learned my lesson last week about buying too much into the weather, but went ahead and did it again today. It's okay. You learn, you live and learn. So it's going to be a long MLB season, and we said it off the top, guys. You really got to roll with the punches with MLB, man. You really got to practice your strategies as far as bankroll and your strategies as far as contest selection, because it's a long 180 slates for sure.
Facts. And with that, don't be afraid to play a couple free contests if you're struggling a little bit. Step back and kind of reevaluate your game plan, where you're going, what you're looking at. Play a couple free contests. Test out your strategies. Play 800 free lines and see what's scoring high and what's working.
Yeah, and like I mentioned today, I've kind of noticed that on the Tuesday, Friday slates, where it's a full 15 games, haven't been playing as well as the other 5 days of the week. So maybe that's a reason. If you're like me, I know there's definitely other people like me that have noticed that. Maybe those are the days you just play in the free roll and you try different strategies on those different days, so you can kind of figure it out. Because, 5 out of 7 days you're still playing, so it's not like you're not doing yourself an injustice by not. So just play smart. I think if you guys ever have any questions about how to play smart, and or you guys just want to talk about different strategies to play, all ears for sure.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're listening to this. We'll be in River. As always, if you are interested in joining us, that link is down below. Otherwise, if you just kind of want to check out River and see kind of how the platform works before you join, we do have a guest section, so you're more than welcome to join that. Just hit me up on Twitter or email us. We'll get you in there and taken care of. Chop it up with some other guests. So,
man, 24/7 DFS chat. What is it now? 6 different sports we're covering, maybe more. Yeah, that has chat room.
We're working on more.
Place a chat every single day. I know tomorrow's going to be a big day with golf. We're going to have a lot of golf chatter if you want to get in there tomorrow and check out all of that. Obviously, we have the free roll contests, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun. Hit us up, follow us on Twitter. I know I'm trying to retweet cool stats all day for the followers. So
yeah, buddy.
Hope you guys enjoyed the show and let us know.
All right, well, have a wonderful day, guys.